Hello everybody, my name is Cameron Kintz. Welcome to my movie review for the Odyssey. This will be a spoiler-free review. Although, like me, being in high school, I have read the book of the Odyssey and many people know the story. And again, it's spoiler-free, so I won't really go into spoiling anything. But this is Christopher Nolan's latest movie, and when I heard he was adapting the Odyssey, I was intrigued, and just knowing his filmography and just how he does his movies, this movie was a highly anticipated movie that was coming this year, and I was like, okay, this movie's got to be something. So I had a really high bar with this movie, and I was afraid it was going to be like overly generic and just sword clashing, like talking about the gods and stuff, and just this movie was epic. This movie was awesome. I love this movie. The filmography behind it, the pacing, the acting, just the visuals. This movie was so well done. I loved the story, and just like, we've read the story of the Odyssey. Many people have, at least. And like, if they showed this movie in high school back when we'd read the Odyssey, I would have been so much more immersed within the story. It was a awesome story. I loved it so much. With that being said, like, I want to kind of like go around and just like pick at certain things, starting with like the characters like Odysseus, Matt Damon, and he did a great job, and I just loved how they fleshed him out so well through his perspective and through the perspective of the other characters, like his men and just his son and his wife, and just events throughout his life and on his Odyssey from the Trojan War to getting back home to his family. Just how they fleshed him out was super well done, and just how, in a way, just how haunted he was, and just how cursed he is by the gods with like a lot of the things with like just the Trojan War and just the things he's done around the men that he was leading, and just there's so much in it that I want to dive into more, but with it being spoiler free, I can't really do that. But that just really hit home for me, and just really just I was just wanting to just see, like, I was super in full suspense, and just I wanted to know what was going to happen, and just everything with this. I was like, how are they going to do this in this movie? Because it's been years since I read the Odyssey, and I don't really remember it all, so I was just so intrigued with everything, and just it was great. I loved Matt Damon in that role. Tom Holland was a good standout as well. He was really well acted. Please forgive me, I do not remember all the names of the characters, but I'll just be referring to them by the actors. Robert Pattinson, he was awesome. I loved his character. He was a snake, and just I loved his performance in it. He did a great job. Anne Hathaway did a really good job as well, and just I loved Calypso. She was great. Zendaya as Athena, just they did really well with a lot of characters. Helena Troy was awesome. Just they introduced so much, and just oh my gosh, it was that was all. The acting was like just on point. It was great. It was a really stacked cast. Everything about this, how the acting was really well done and well performed. It just made me feel immersed in, like, yes, it is primarily English dialect. It's like standard English dialect. That's what I'm gonna say. Like, they don't use like any Greek dialect or anything, but it didn't bother me all that much. If you're like a Greek mythology person, I could see them maybe picking up parts of the movie, but for me personally, I enjoyed it. Like, for the movie that we were being presented to, I loved it. What else is there? The pacing. I loved how they went about from like going from like place to place, and like going from perspective to perspective, just like how he like tries to hit certain things throughout his memories, through how through the perspective of other people, through just the perspectives of like what Odysseus has done, and just how the story unfolds, and like how things like uncover more and just flesh out the characters and the world and just the war and the whole journey and just everything with that was just epic. I loved it and just I'm glad it wasn't like a one for one like from the beginning all the way to like going to the end. Just it was like it bounced around from certain points like it was without going into spoilers really, but they like start off at a certain point in the story and then they like backtrack and just go throughout those adventures in the war and all that stuff. So it was awesome. I loved the pacing thing. Like really helped immerse me into it. And just hearing the perspectives of the other characters was that really helped out a lot. Just it helped me connect more to the story and to Odysseus. I wouldn't say I relate to him at all. Just nah. Like with I know it's like in the Odyssey story, but like they like kind of changed it up a bit. But like he was upset because he was like referred to as a no man in the story, like in the original story, by the Cyclops, and that like upset him. But just unpacking just that with the pacing was just really well done. I will say there was a point with the Cyclops story as part of the story that really threw me off. That was kind of different from the main premise of the original book. I can see people nitpicking at that a little bit. It kind of threw me out of the experience a little bit, but when I like got past that, I was like, great. I enjoyed it. Next thing for me is the visuals. This movie was like mostly like was practical. Like they like shot in real places and they did a really awesome job with that, and it was just a joy. There's a lot of like cool things to see. There's like unique looking things. Like the Cyclops looked terrifying. It was like uncanny mixed with like just freaky, and just it wasn't hard to look at, but it was so weird that you couldn't look away, which also leads to a part of the movie as well. I won't really go into full details, but there's a character named Cersei who involves pigs with the men, and that was really freaky, and I could not look away, and it was horrific to see for me personally. I don't really like that type of stuff, but it was like I was already like so focused on it I could not look away, and it just bothered it. Like I wouldn't say it haunted me to my core, but it was like, ugh, that's freaky. I would hate that. Like it, yeah. If you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about, or if you've read the book. They do a really insane job with that. I thought it would have been like a cutaway, but it was not. Anyway, the visuals were really good. Like costumes and setting were just so well done, and just the props, like the Trojan horse, like they use that so many times throughout the story as a storytelling device, and like everything with that was awesome, and just everything with it was so good. I loved the overall story. It was fantastic. I loved it to death. This is definitely a movie I recommend seeing in theaters. I wanted to go see it in IMAX, but I didn't. I would have if I'd known what I was getting into more. Oh my gosh, it was a great movie. This is a movie, I have very, very little negatives for this movie. It was just one of those good ones. Christopher Nolan really hit home for this movie. It's definitely one I recommend you checking out, especially if you're a movie buff or someone who likes immersive cinematic experiences. This movie was like an absolute cinema movie. It was fantastic. Everything about it was good. The fighting was pretty good. This movie is rated R. It doesn't need to be, per se, but it does add a little bit more flavor to the film. But overall, like, it's not a gory movie per se, but it's like the Odyssey. It gets violent. So it's a good movie, and there's just so much about it that was just, it's a lot to unpack, and it is a long movie, but it's a really good, enjoyable movie. It's really immersive and just really enjoyable. I don't really have any negatives really to say about the movie. So, yeah, it's not a perfect movie, but it is a really good movie. I hope you guys liked my movie review for the Odyssey. If you guys checked out the movie, comment down below your thoughts on it. I hope you guys enjoy it if you go see it. I highly recommend you go see it. And if you guys like this video, please feel free to give this video a like. And if you like just my channel, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell icon, because I do upload, and I'm going to try uploading more frequently. So you'll get notified every time I upload a video. So I thank you guys for watching, and God bless.